What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jar back with NPL Minors week number 3. So far, your Chicago Kyurem-Blackhawks, have been on fire. We are 2-0 to start the season with a +10 differential, but this week we are taking on Tone, who is a very respected Minors coach and moreover has the best team according to the analyst that was drafted for the season, and you'll see why. He's got a pretty solid team, but it does have a few weaknesses that I've noticed that I think our team specifically can take advantage of. I normally say our team doesn't have a great matchup, but in this case our matchup is not horrible without a doubt. So let's just jump straight into the team matchup. So on the screen you're going to see his team. His team is on top. He is the Clefable, Latios, Excadrill, Scolipede, Vaporeon, Entei, Xurkitree, that's supposed to be Scrafty, Mega Venusaur, and Lopunny. So as you can see, he's completed the main 2 cores very, very nicely. He's got offense, he's got wall breakers, he's got very, very threatening mons to my team. Specifically, the most 2 I'm biggest worried about are Scolipede and Latios. Those 2 can just run through me if I'm not careful, especially Scolipede. I'm expecting a Z-move to come. I did play my friend Razor, who was nice enough to give me a mock before the game. He brought a Savage Spin out Scolipede, so I definitely have to play around that. So it was good of him to give me that heads up. Vaporeon could come, but I have a Thundurus that can kind of take advantage of it. I also have a Roserade, so kind of indifferent on there. Clefable, I'm positive will come. It can take 2 hits from a Jolly Mega Medicham to any 2 hits, including Zen Head, but Latios will definitely come. That thing destroys me offensively if it is Specs, or if it's Life or Bruce, can also put in a lot of work. Excadrill is a very good mon against me as well. It can get rid of hazards because I have been trying to stack my opponents lately. I'm not sure if Entei will come. I do have the Milotic, and I'm bringing it, obviously, as you can tell from this team. I'm almost sure Xurkitree will come, and the rest is basically up in the air. I basically think Clefable, Latios, Excadrill, Scolipede, Entei, and Xurkitree looking at the team. I did prep a lot for Vaporeon because I thought it could come in height to try and check my Mega Medicham. It does deal with it decently with the Protect, so we'll see what Tone decides to bring when we get into the battle, but let's just hop back to my team builder for a second. Now, the first set we're going to decide to bring right here is, as you can see, an Adamant Mega Medicham. I do need to be this speed just to outspeed a few of his other mons that are just below my Medicham speed tier, and just in case, say, that Entei is running Adamant, I would like to speed tie with it. So if it is Sacred Fire Extreme Speed, we're going to have to be Adamant max speed to speed tie with it. We're running Substitute, Drain Punch, Zen Headbutt, and Ice Punch, so very, very good coverage for his team. Zen Headbutt 2-hit KOs almost everything. Drain Punch does a lot to the rest and can get me my HP back. This Medicham is my win con versus his team. This thing absolutely destroys him. I'm going to try to get it in as much as possible, as much as I can, but Tone does have very big offensive threats that could keep me from getting it in that often. So having this set really does do me a lot of good. If I can get a sub up, I should get at least 2 kills, assuming it's not the Clefable, in which case I'll just take out the Clefable with 2 Zen Headbutts and do the same thing next time around. So next on the board, we got an Expert Belt offensive Roserade, so we're bringing a bit of a more offensive Roserade this time around. HP Ground, obviously, for the Excadrill, because I think a Spit F Excadrill might come and might try to be his switch in, and then I decided to go Extra Sensory Sludge Bomb. I max special attack, 200 speed. This is going to be outspeeding some of his slower mons. I have Synthesis because I wanted the recovery over the Grass Stab. Extra Sensory to hit the Mega Venusaur, obviously, just in case. I'm pretty confident Vaporeon, if it does come, I can deal with it in other ways. I don't need Roserade specifically, so Grass coverage wasn't a necessity. Sludge Bomb to help me beat the Clefable down if I need to, and yeah, this Roserade offensively does a lot of work versus his team. If I can get his team worn down, it's fast enough and strong enough that it can sweep his team late game. Next up, we have one of the most important defensive walls of the week, Flame Orb Milotic, because there is no other set. As you can see, I'm rocking Max Careful Nature. It wasn't careful in the game, it was like this. Shit, I didn't do that. Alright, one sec, let me build the set from scratch. It was like that. I have Dragon Tail, so that's why it was set like that, and I had to rebuild the team over here. So that's the set we were bringing versus him, and this set basically just can wall a lot of his team. It can help me deal with the likes of the Scrafty, as you can see. One sec, I'm going to have to pause for a second. My computer's kind of screwed up. Alright. Sorry about that, I was in full screen mode. I completely fucked up my computer when I hit a button I did not mean to. So, this was the set we were rocking going into the game. Recover, Haze, Skull, Dragon Tail. I really wish I hadn't put Dragon Tail on there in hindsight, because what was it really for? Haze was always going to be my best option. I think I put it on there for Latios, but I think Ice Beam would have just overall been better. I can beat it 1v1, Haze away its Calm Minds. Ice Beam also would have helped me just, take on that Latios a lot better, because if it was a bulkier set, then Dragon Tail wasn't going to be doing jack shit, and the best thing I could do was burn, recover stall it. So Yeah, that hindsight, maybe not the best prep there, but this thing does wall a lot of majority of his team. It walls the Scrafty, it can wall the Entei specifically, it can take on the Scolipede and the Excadrill. This thing is here for all those massive threats. I haven't brought Milotic a lot, or I've not used it as much as I think I should. I think it's an amazing mon and I love having it in League format. I just have not been able to find the right set for it just yet. So, next on the team, we are packing a Z-Move Thundurus. Now, this Thundurus is an interesting set. Enough speed to outspeed any variant of Latios that is not Scarf. Flyinium Z, U-Turn, Superpower, Fly, and Wild Charge. This is why I feel like I can deal with the Vaporeon. I don't think he'll expect this Thundurus set to come. I'm Wild Charge, so I can hit that thing extremely hard. Fly kills Mega Venusaur, and it kills Latios was a big thing. Latios I found to be kind of a big threat to my team. If it picks the right move, it can get a kill almost every time. It can take any one hit from Thundurus outside of a Flyinium Z max attack Fly. I'm running the Superpower for the Excadrill, hit that hard as I can. It is a roll to knock it out depending on his spread. U-turn just to gain momentum, get into Medicham as often as possible. And yeah, this Thundurus was a really cool set. I was really proud of it. I was hoping it could do some work in the game against either Latios, Venusaur, Excadrill, or Vaporeon. This thing tore down his walls a lot better than a special variant could have, in my opinion. And so that's why I was kind of happy to bring the physical Thundurus. Obviously, we're Defiant because we want that attack raise if we can get the free SD. Next up, we have Shukaberry Heatran. This is kind of my last-ditch effort Scolipede check. If my Milotic goes down, I do have the Shukaberry, Stealth Rock, Fire Blast, Flash Cannon, and Taunt. This thing can 1v1 the Clefable pretty well. It can taunt it down. I do outspeed, no speed Clefable, and I'm not expecting him to run any speed. 252 HP, 252 Spadef. I can take any hit from his special attackers, and with my Milotic, I didn't feel like I needed the defense investment. And I can take any few hits from Scolipede. I can take 2 Earthquakes, hit it with a Fire Blast, knock it out. I ran Fire Blast to potentially bluff the Scarf on this Heatran. Maybe I could catch a Scolipede getting a little fancy on me, trying to protect up. And I thought that was a good move overall, but Tone's a smart guy. We'll see if he sees through that. Last but not least, we have the Mon I was kind of excited to use. Life Orb, Prism Armor, Necrozma, Rock Polish, Max Special Attack, 120 HP, 136 Speed. This is enough speed to outspeed his entire team at +2. Charge Beam is just to get my stats up there. Psychic hits everything really hard. Dark Pulse hits everything that Psychic doesn't hit very hard, pretty hard. The only two things I cannot really beat with this set would be the Excadrill and the Scrafty. The Scrafty mainly, but Tone has not brought Scrafty once. I don't think he's going to bring it against me when I have all these checks to it, like Roserade, Medicham, Milotic, Thundurus, so I don't really see those things coming. So that is the team, nice and quick team builder. I was really excited to get to use all these offensive threats, but Tone does have a very scary team. Going into the battle, I was terrified of Latios and Scolipede, obviously, but let's just hop over into the battle and see what happened. And here we are with the battle. As you can see, Tone basically brought everything I predicted. I mean, his team, pretty obvious what was going to come against me. The Entei surprised me a lot, actually, but Latios, Scolipede, Xurkitree, Clefable, and Excadrill, I knew all of those things were coming. Entei, I do have my Milotic, so I'm not too worried about it. Everything else I feel like I'm decently prepped for. Again, Scolipede and Latios could be problematic. But overall, I think I decided my best lead was Thundurus. I had a Latios lead versus me in my mock, and so I can outspeed U-turn off of it, figure out if it's Scarf or not. I can take any one hit. So I overall decided Thundurus was the best lead option here. So I lead with my Thundurus. He does lead with the Latios. So Razor, thank you for your help. I'm just going to click U-turn here, see what his switch into this thing is. As it turns out to be this Xurkitree, which leads me to believe it's Assault Vested. If you guys don't know, one of the best ways to check a Thundurus is with an Assault Vested electric type. It can't hit it super effectively, but we are not a special Thundurus, so that U-turn does a good chunk, and we know what his switching is. Now I'm going to go out into my Roserade. I just want to get some damage off. I'm going to fire off Sludge Bomb. That does indeed reveal the Assault Vest right there, and he's going to Volt Switch out. My Roserade takes that relatively well. I do have the Synthesis, so I'm not too worried about it. He goes out into his Latios. I'm going to go into my Milotic, trying to scout the 50-50. Don't want him to click Surf and kill Heatran, and he reveals to be a Specs Latios. There's no set Latios can do that is not like Modest, Life Orb, Max Roll that can do 52% like that, and I really don't see him bringing Modest with the threat that Mega Medicham is to his team. So this is definitely a choice specs timid Latios, so I take a lot from that. I'm going to get burned, but my Milotic can still heal up on a lot of things, specifically the Entei, and I do really need it for that Scolipede. So I'm going to go out into my Heatran. I know I can take this hit. Well, I think I should have brought more of a mixed wall Heatran in hindsight, but I'm just going to get my rocks up here as the Entei does come in. So this is my Milotic's chance to heal up if I can get it in. But Tone, being the smart man he is, doubles out into his Xurkitree. But I'm actually okay with that because I have the rocks up now, so I'm going to be wearing his team down. I'm going to be wearing the Entei down, wearing the Scolipede down. And here I'm going to make the switch out into my Thundurus because if he Volt Switches again, like he did off my Roserade, his Latios is basically going to get a kill. And I had to shut that momentum down, because if I just go back out in a Roserade, yeah, I can take the hit, but then I just forced to switch out, my Roserade is weakened, and all of a sudden I'm caught in the circle of trying to avoid losing a Mon to Latios. So I go out to my Thunderous, I know I can take it. He's going to go out into his Latios, thinking that he can live any hit I decide to go for, and this is where I'm going to reveal the Z-move Fly Thunderous. I'm going to Supersonic Sky Strike, take out the biggest offensive threat to my team, or so I would think, in the Latios, so that's great. This thing's going to come in. I don't feel like I need Thunderous anymore. It doesn't break anything that well. He didn't bring a lot of his walls, so I'm going to click Superpower. He does get the roll in his favor and lives, but he clicks EQ, predicting something like the Milotic to come in and wanting to get a lot of damage off on that thing and 2-hit KO it. So I do a calc here. U-turn does kill Excadrill at 8%, so I can click it and get out of there, and back into my Heatran I go, trying to kind of bait in the Scolipede, which I do, which is perfect. So I'm just going to click Fire Blast here. We'll see if he falls for the Scarf Heatran trick like I thought he might by running the Fire Blast. So his Scolipede gets the +1. If I'm Scarfed, he should outspeed me now, but Tone does scout for it, knowing that Scolipede is one of his best Mons left to beat me, and goes out into his Entei. As I miss a Fire Blast, that's not a huge deal. My Heatran wasn't doing too much. So this play out into Milotic, easiest play of my life. I can actually take 2 Bulldozes extremely well. I think Stone Edge is the only move he could have clicked there to 2-hit KO the Milotic. So he will outspeed me, but he can't kill me with any move, so I get a free recover up right here as he goes out into his Xurkitree, and now my Milotic is at a decent percentage of health. We're up 6-4. It's looking relatively good for us. So I decide Roserade here is the play. Latios is gone. I'm not too threatened by it. As he decides to fire off a Discharge, I can take that pretty easily, fire off a Sludge Bomb, and Roserade is going to pick up a kill as well. So here, I'm not too worried about anything he wants to go into. He does decide to go out into the Scolipede. Now, this could be problematic, so I decide to sack my Roserade. In hindsight, I think I could have gone out into my Milotic if I'd run some calcs there, but I was just terrified of a Swords Dance Scolipede sweeping me. So I figured he would have the Swords Dance after my prep, and realizing that if that thing got up to +2 and it could Z-move kill my Milotic, there was not much I could do to stop a Scolipede. So I'm going to sack my Roserade in fear of that. Hindsight, Milotic was the best play, but here, I can just go out into my Heatran. He probably figures I'm Shuka, but that doesn't matter at this point. I can just fire off a Fire Blast, get some good damage off on this Entei, put it in Rock's range so it cannot come back in even if it switches out. Below 25%, perfect, and now I get to go into my Milotic and heal this thing up to full to take on the Scolipede relatively well. It's looking really, really good for us. It's 5-2 at this point, and we have our Milotic, well, we're going to have our Milotic at basically full health to deal with the Scolipede, which is the biggest threat to our team at this point. And this is where I am going to try my hardest and choke this game away. Now, this Clefable comes in. Now, this thing could have been Calm Mind. So, I don't regret the first few chances of here what I'm going to do. Stay in it, trying to scout for this thing's Calm Mind. I'm going to click Scald here, throw off Scald. I know he can't kill me. I get the burn, see he's Magic Guard. So I'm just going to kind of wait and see if he wants to reveal that Calm Mind before I make any plays. But he's just Moonblasting me. And I can recover up on this thing all day, yes, but I cannot 1v1 it. It's going to have some recovery. And so here is where I'm going to make the dumbest play of this game, and I'm going to sack my Milotic, thinking that, okay, my Heatran can just come in, take any hit this Clefable wants to go for, and then just take the Scolipede's EQ and kill it with a Fire Blast or a Flash Cannon at that range, and I should be fine to go with that situation. So I sack my Scolipede check with the Scolipede still alive. And Scolipede, if you look at my team, not a lot can take a hit from it, as I'm going to go out into my Heatran here. As I have my Shuka, I have Flash Cannon, I can beat the last 2 months 1v1, and I do a lot with the Flash Cannon, but Tone reveals HP Ground, eating up my Shuka Berry, and basically meaning that this Scolipede is now the biggest threat on the field in this game at the moment. I'm going to go for another Flash Cannon, and clearly now, as he was just clicking Moonblast, the play was to go hard into Heatran, keep my Milotic alive. Centipede comes out, and it's going to kill Heatran. Now, at this point, from my mock, I know that my Necrozma can take 1 Mega Horn from this Scolipede at full, but like an idiot again, I don't scout for the Savage Spin Out, even though I saw it in a mock, and that is the one move he can go for that can kill my Necrozma. And he's going to kill the Necrozma right there from full. And now I'm in a real bad situation because I do not have T-Wave on my Thundurus. So I go out into Thundurus thinking, okay, I think I know his set. He showed Protect, he showed Earthquake, he showed Mega Horn. I think his last move is Swords Dance, so I'm feeling like I can wall this thing potentially. Nope, he has the Poison Jab, and so now it all comes down to whether Mega Medicham or not can live a hit from full from a Scolipede after basically sacking away at least 4 differential this game. I'm going to go into Mega Medicham. He's going to click Protect to avoid a fake out Bullet Punch situation. I don't have either because I thought I could deal with the Scolipede with my Heatran and Milotic, and he's going to go for the Mega Horn. Thankfully, though, Medicham lives that hit, so it did end up being the MVP this game. It's only a 1-0 for us, and this was not a well-played endgame on my part at all. I mean, I had everything I needed. Once I saw his Clefable was just trying to Moonblast down my Milotic and it wasn't clicking Calm Mind, I should have gone straight into my Heatran right there, because you saw the damage that the Flash Cannon did. It was doing a hell of a lot to that thing, so as soon as I should have tried to save Milotic, he didn't even have SD in the end, which is something basically cost me my Roserade, cost me my Milotic, cost me almost the entire game, and then, like an idiot, I try to throw the game away again. Even though I know Necrozma can live a Mega Horn, I don't scout for the Savage Spin Out Z move even after seeing it in a mock from Razor. So this was a well-played beginning, but a bad-played endgame. I feel like because of my play in the beginning and my prep, I was able to pull this game out. Like, I wasn't forced to use Mega Medicham to pick up kills with the offensive team he brought, so I was able to preserve it in the back, preserve its HP, because I was playing well with my other mons. Like, you had Milotic taking a ton of hits, you had Heatran living a bunch of stuff, you had things like the Roserade doing a lot of work. I don't even know what the other mon I brought was at this point. Let me flash back to the team builder really. It was Thundy. So Thundy did a lot of work, but now guys, I have a special surprise for you. So if you've stuck around this long, you'll get to hear the big news. We've made 3 free agent transactions that will hopefully skyrocket the team into popularity, I guess, with the analysts. I don't really care, but they didn't like the team I drafted, so I made 3 transaction moves that actually gained us points, and I was kind of surprised to hear about that. So I want to go into a little bit of in-depth on why I made the moves I did really quick, because I don't want to make a separate video for it, and only the people that stayed around till the end can see them and hear my thought process on why I did what. So, the first move I'm going to talk to you about, you're going to see the 3 mons we picked up right away. They were right here. T-Tar, Reuniclus, and Mienshao. Now, the trades I made, obviously, Mega Medicham for Mega Tyranitar, I dropped Necrozma for Reuniclus, and then I dropped Ambipom and picked up Mienshao. Now, in my opinion, I got 3 upgrades, and I saved points for trades in the future I might want to do, and I'll explain why. Mega Medicham is good in format, guys. It's a good mon, but I did not draft around it the best. To be fair, I didn't draft most of my team, so it wasn't working with the team I had. I had no Pursuit Trapper to deal with those bulky Psychic types, and every team has a bulky Psychic type. So I felt the need to drop Mega Medicham, and that's where this whole 3 mon move started. Because once I dropped Mega Medicham and picked up Mega Tyranitar, which was only 10 points, and I'll just talk about this thing real quick. This thing is amazing. I've seen Cheese use it in the majors, and it's so bulky, guys. This thing can take fighting hits no problem. Its defenses are absolutely insane. 100 base HP, and then 164 attack on top of that, with access to things like Dragon Dance, Rock Polish, Be Special, Be Physical. This thing is a wall-breaking monster. I only wish that it could have Z moves, but it's a Mega. But other than that, this Tyranitar is going to be a great addition to the team, in my opinion. It's a very, very nice special wall that kind of also is offensive. Sand will help me wear teams down, which will be great for my hazard stacking core that I've built up. This does hinder Roserade a little bit, but I think I can play around that. It's not too big a deal. It's 1 mon instead of 2 now. And because I picked up Mega Tyranitar, I was forced to drop my Necrozma. Now, if you don't know, Moonlight is affected by Sandstorm, and I needed to have a good Psychic type that paired well with T-Tar, and Necrozma was not it for me anymore. I gained a Rocker back, so I felt like I could drop one, and I picked up this Reuniclus, which is Magic Guard. I love this mon, Regenerator. I love the Assault Vest set. I love the Calm Mind set. I love the Life Orb Trick Room set. This thing is just an amazing mon overall. I had no problems picking this thing up for Necrozma. I thought that was a big plus on my end. Picking up one of my favorite Psychic types in format. This thing is not affected by Sand with Magic Guard. This thing gets Recover, so it doesn't need to rely on Synthesis or Moonlight or any of that crap. So T-Tar fits very well with it. And overall, it just gave me a mon that pairs really well with the rest of my defensive core. Better than Necrozma, in my opinion, because of access to things like Regenerator and more recovery, basically. Reuniclus can take more hits than a Necrozma would be, for example. So I was really happy to pick these 2 mons up. They're amazing Pokemon. And then I decided to add one of my old-time favorites in league format. This goes back to like the GPC days when I was with Rob, and we loved prepping with this Mienshao. Mienshao is one of my favorite fighting types in league format. I love its access to 2 abilities, Regenerator and Reckless. High jump kicks from this thing. We replaced Medicham basically with Mienshao, and I couldn't be happier. This thing is a beast. Its Life Orb set is impossible to switch into, has access to Swords Dance if I want to run a setup set, Fast Taunter, U-Turn, Momentum, Poison Jab, High Jump Kick, Reckless. It's amazing. I was really happy to pick up Mienshao. I didn't make it a Zmon. I kept my Zmon as Thundy. You are allowed to change that, I think, if you make a free agency move. So I kept it as Thundy though. But overall, I think these moves are going to seriously benefit the team. We picked up more bulk by dropping Mega Medicham and Necrozma and adding Reuniclus and Mega T-Tar. And then I didn't know if I mentioned what we dropped from Mienshao, but it was Ambipom. That's right, we saved up enough points from dropping Medicham and Necrozma for Mega T-Tar and Reuniclus. We upgraded Ambipom, which is a mon, frankly, I was never going to bring, for Mienshao. And I couldn't be happier with these moves. I think they will really benefit the team going forward. And as you guys saw, we picked up a win versus Tone, so we're 3-0. We have plus 11 differential at this point, and we're looking really, really good. I think these moves will only strengthen the team. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, or analysts' thoughts, because I know no one actually watches my videos. So if the analysts want to comment on my free agency moves, I'd love to hear their thoughts. But until then, I think that about wraps it up for me here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.